Good morning, and welcome to CabWriter Comprehensive 2, Part 8. In Part 8, we're going to clean up the base cabinets. This is where we left off in Part 7. We finished cleaning up the upper cabinets, and now we'll do the base cabinets. I also noticed that we missed one cabinet, and it's an upper cabinet. And it's a spice cabinet that goes right here. If I have time in this video, I'll add that. Otherwise, we'll carry it over to the next video. All right, so let's start by going this way and examining the cabinets the base cabinets. Let's start here and go around clockwise and examine the base cabinets and see what we need to fix up. First thing I look for are shared styles, where we share a style and didn't delete one. One easy way to do that is to select a cabinet. Look at what parts are there. And see if anything is shared. This looks pretty clean already. This one's a potential issue, but it looks like I already resolved the problem. That's that one. And this cabinet doesn't have a style here, so that's fine. Notice there's a style here for this cabinet. But there's not one here, so we already fixed that up. So that's fine. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. Here we've got a lot of fix-up to do. There's a minor problem right here. Then we have to put the back on. And that'll take a good deal of this video, so let's get started. One of the things I'm going to do is outline where we want the back. Notice these sheets are 3/4 of an inch thick, standard plywood thickness. And so I'm going to create a back that attaches to this 1/2 inch back here. So I'm going to come out along the green axis 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to do the same thing here along the red axis. And I'm going to do the same thing here. And in order to do that, I'll come out here to that line and type 0.75, enter. Now I should have intersections here and intersections here. While I'm at it, I'm going to provide some lines like this. Notice now I actually get a feeling for what this back one is going to look like. It's going to start, let me get my pointer, it's going to start at this intersection, go to here, go to here, go to here, and then back to here. So I might start with that one and get that one out of the way. And I'm gonna need to create a face. So what I'll do, pick up this vertical line, go through this intersection here, and I'll create an intersection down here by coming out here 0.75 along the green. And that should give me an intersection right there, and it does. So now I can start with my rectangle tool. And come up to here. All right, and that's going to be my first back panel. So I'll double click or triple click to get the face and all the edges. And I'm going to use my Create a Back Panel tool. Before I do, I should note what this cabinet is. It's C9L. C9L. So let me do this again. Create a back panel. C9L. I'll say OK. Do you want to use the stored defaults? Yes. Is that the cabinet I want to attach it to? Yes. And it says, examine the back panel. If you discover that the back panel is reversed, for example, the miters are reversed, after closing the dialog box, immediately select Undo. To remedy the situation, select the faces and edges again and choose the context menu, Reverse Faces. Use the Create a Back Panel tool again and the problem should be resolved. Well, mine has that problem. If I look at this from the top, notice that this doesn't touch this back. There's a big gap between this and this. So mine has this problem. So I'll immediately undo. I'll triple click, then right click and Reverse Faces. Now I'll use the tool again. C9L. Yes, I want to use the stored defaults. Yes, that's the cabinet. And now, notice that these are touching, just as I would expect. Now I can get rid of this line so it doesn't confuse me. And first thing I need to do, because I'm going to use this tool again 2 more times, I don't want it to be giving the definition name the same name. Right now it just says C9L BP back panel. I'm going to change this using, now I have to use the Make CabWriter component tool. I can't change the name in the definition of the entity info because I'll lose all of my extended entity info attributes if I do that. So I have to use this tool. The most important part of using this tool is this subtype right here. If I choose the correct subtype, it'll automatically supply the attributes, extended entity info attributes that go with this type of part. This is a solid sheet. So having selected that, and also making sure that this says Set CabWriter Protection, I can now change the component name, which I do right here in the description field. It's the description part of the component name. So I'm going to call this the center back panel. And I'll hit OK. And now I'm going to put a back panel over here. And I'll use my rectangle tool. I'll start at the bottom point right here and go to this point right here. Double click, create a panel, C9L. Yes. Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to start deleting things that I don't need anymore. And so, for instance, I don't need those two lines anymore. I don't need this one. At least I don't think I do. All right, I got a minor problem here. I got to make sure these this one meets up with this one at a 45-degree angle or a bevel. So I'm going to unlock it first and then edit it. And what I'll do, zoom in here a little bit, and I'll select this line. And using the move tool at its endpoint, I'll move that to there. I can't see this one, so I'll go to the X-ray tool and I'll select this line, and again with the move tool at the endpoint, I'll move that endpoint over to here. Okay, now I've got what I want here in terms of joinery. All right, now I want to fix this up. These have to come together, this part and this part. And, well, actually I should have left. No, I have it. I have it. They're going to come together right here at this intersection. I don't have anything to mark that intersection, so I really should have left this line here for the moment. Now I have an intersection. So I want to move this over to here, and I want to move this over to here. So again, I'll unlock this, go to Edit Component Mode, use the X-ray tool to see this line back here. Move that line, that point, right there to that intersection. And I'll do the same to this one. Now this one I have to do at both ends, so I might as well do it now. So I'll unlock it, Edit Component, use the X-ray tool, select that line, go to the end point of that line, Move it to here. Select that line. Take the endpoint, move it to there. So now I have those two done. Now I'm going to rename this back panel just like I did the other one using this tool. And again, don't forget to fill this in. This is a sheet, solid sheet. And I'm going to, looking at this cabinet from the front, this would be the right back panel. So I'll just call it right back panel and say OK. So now I have that. I got one more to do over here. I think if I bring the wall in, that will make something a little clearer. Wall east. This is going to start at this wall. At that intersection right there. And it's going to go to that point. So now I can take my rectangle tool, click here, go down to this point, triple click, go to the back panel tool, create a back panel, C9L, say OK. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right, now I've got to fix this up in a couple of places. So I'll unlock it, edit it. First thing I have to do is move this point from here to here. So again, I'll use the X-ray tool, choose that line, go to the end point, move it there. Here, we'll choose this line and move the end point to there. And now let's examine things. That one looks correct. That'll come right up against the wall there. Which means I might want to scribe on that. Fortunately, I think I already have an extra ½ inch on this. If I want more, I can add more for that scribe. This is going to have to be a beveled edge here, and I forget the angle, but it's probably something like 22.5. But you got to worry about those little things. So now I have this fixed up. The only thing I have left is these sides need a 45 miter. So let me do that. But I'll clean some things up here. Okay. Now notice that there are two of these in the model. This one and its partner over here. That's going to create me a little bit of a problem, but it's easily fixed. But let's edit it, unlock, edit, and I'm going to unlock both of them. And this time what I'm going to have to do is to create a line here and use the push-pull tool to push it all the way through to the bottom. What happened? It didn't push-pull. Not sure why, but we'll give it another shot. Let's just look at X-ray tool, make sure we know it's going. Okay. That should have happened. All right, now we have it. Now here's the problem. Notice this didn't change, but this over here did. So what I need to do is take this component here, and I'm going to flip it twice. I'm going to start out by flipping it along the red axis. And that put the bevel over here, but it's not in the right orientation. So now I'm going to flip it along the green axis. Now I've got what I want. All right, that's fixed up, that's fixed up, that's fixed up. I guess I gotta fix this up. And I think it's this one that we have to fix up. So I'll edit this. And let me get, whoops, wrong tool. .45 degrees. All right, now I have I think I've got what I need here. So let's choose this line here. And let's bring it back to this point right there. And I think I've got it. Now before I leave edit component mode, I've got to get rid of this construction line. And there we go. That's fixed up. Now I'm all set. Got everything I want. And so I have enough time now to go add this cabinet back in. Now, this cabinet is going to sit on top of the countertop. The countertop The countertop is going to be 1¼ inches. So I'll go up along the blue axis 1¼ inches from the front. And the question is, how deep do I want this cabinet? So I think I'll make it 7 inches deep. So if this line is at the face, on the same plane as the face of these, and I want this cabinet back here to be 7 inches deep, I'll have to move this line back 24 minus 7, which is 17 inches. So I'll move it back 17 inches. And I'm going to keep it the same. Well, no. Let me bring in the west wall. I'm going to measure from here to here, which is 2 9/30. 2 9/30. So I'll make this the same. Okay. And to get myself an intersection point, let's measure from here to here is 23 15/16. 23 15/16. Okay, so now I know this cabinet that may not be right, but let's start with that and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the standard cabinet defaults, and I'm going to modify them. The upper defaults for the upper cabinets. And let me just put this over here for the second. I know that they're going to be 7 inches deep, but how tall? I'll go up along the blue axis to that point. They're going to be 39 1/8 inches tall. That seems strange. $39 1/8. Not sure where that number came from, but let's just try it. So the cabinet height is going to be 39 1/8. That can't be the right number. But the depth of the cabinet is going to be 7 inches. So let's try that. I've got so many lines here, I want to make sure I have the right one. I'm going to make this a left finish. And this one is going to be a right sheet. And let's make sure that the finish styles are drawn in the upper. And they are. Finish styles are drawn, so I can close this. Hit end. I want that to be a standard upper with 2 doors. Okay. Well, I think we actually got what we wanted. Surprise, surprise. Just curious. That's 24 inches. This is 23 and 15/16. And the reason is we wanted it to be exactly the same as this. So I don't think the 1/16 of an inch is going to make a difference. So we'll just leave it like that. And that makes a nice little spice cabinet if I take off the upper doors. I've got a nice little spice cabinet. In fact, I might want to put more shelves in here, but I'll worry about that later. Okay. So I think we now have completed the cleanup for both the uppers and the base. And so for now, I think we'll call it a day, and I'll see you back here in part 9. Until then, have a good day.